Whoa, why?
よ、
Hi, everyone. Who is she talking to in this case?
皆さんまだ生きてる？
Wait, so they're all alive at this point in time? Hello, Amber. You got it first? Okay, you beat Diana. Nice. Kimiyoshi was hanging from the collar, with his head turned up to the ceiling. He didn't even move when I walked in. Maybe he's already dead. Satsuko was lying on a cross-shaped restraining table. She glared at me with red and sullen eyes, which must have been that way from crying. How does it feel, Hamburger? Being the first person here. Nobody to threaten you. This isn't a good time? I mean, you know what? We'll take it. If this is the time, then we have to make time. I wanted to put her on that special restraining table to pound nails into her hands, but Satsuko was too small for that. I walked up to Kimiyoshi and poked his body with my toe. There was no
君吉
response.
のおじいちゃん、死んだ？
人殺し。人殺し。
Maybe Satsuko had witnessed Kimiyoshi's last moments. I took a thick knife from the wall and stabbed Kimiyoshi with it. Hello, Roach. Your name is now pink. It still remained pink from last time. There was no response.
君吉のおじいちゃん、生きてるなら正直に生きてるって言ってくださいよ。死体のふりして逃げ出そうなんて通用しないから。
I walked over to the pulley that was suspending Kimiyoshi.
最終通告。生きてる？生きてるなら返事してね。
I paused just for a moment, then turned the pulley. Because pink is pretty cool. Yeah. Pink is nice. Oh, pink is preppy. What exactly does preppy mean? Like, what is the... Yeah, I don't think I've heard that word used often. I don't know. I guess we're at a standstill here. You got Super Meat Boy. Nice. Have you played it? Kimiyoshi's body swayed strangely in the air. Did you finish Celeste? Finish your Celeste playthrough again? Doing everything? It looked much more like a corpse like that.
どうしてこんなことをするんですの、シオンさん。
ん？ああ、なるほど。
The door to the huge cave was still open. I bet Satoko had talked to the one in the cell while I was gone. That's how she knows my name. Although it's actually not my name at all.
シオンじゃなくて、私が本当のミオン。
I like Pink, Stanley's, that kind of stuff. Oh, okay. That's fun. No, that's gonna take forever and like hundreds of hours skill. Okay, I see. So you're using it to take a break from it? But I thought you got Super Meat Boy a while ago. I feel like I remember you telling me about it a while ago, no? Or no, that's your definition of preppy. Okay. No? Okay.
あんたたちがミオンだと思ってた方がシオン。まあややこしいだろうから理解しなくて結構。
I said I wanted it. I see. Okay. Now you got it. Nice. What made you like wait a while before getting it?
よくも、みんなを、リカを。
I had allowed Satoko to watch me take care of Rika's body. Of course, I let her see Rika's neck too.
フルでリカは自業自得。あいつは私を殺しに来たんだよ。返り討ちにしたのさ。
そんなことあるわけありませんわ。リカがそんなことするわけない。
信じないならそれでもいいよ。
I just remembered I have math homework and no, not the math homework. Is it due tomorrow?
あん
You
たには
said
どうで
so.
もいいこ
How
と
far
だ
have you
し。
gotten Super Meat Boy so far, Hamburger?
私を、どうするつもりなんですの？
殺す。
Yes, no. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry for your loss. Satoko's eyes went wide. She was expecting my answer, I'm sure, but she still looked shocked. Bet she didn't expect me to state it so openly. I heard the noise of something hitting iron bars echoing in the huge cave. Shion's voice echoed there as well. I answered her clearly.
今頃罪が分かったかい？あんたはそれをサトシ君の時にしなかった。だからサトシ君は虫けらのように殺されてしまったんだ。あんたはサトシ君を救える100億の瞬間を見捨てた、見殺した。そうさ、それがあんたの罪なのさ。
Before even finishing my sentence, I stabbed Satoko's right arm. Her blood started to flow out. This was nothing compared to what happened to Rika Furude. I twisted the knife in Satoko's arm. She bit down, hard, crying. Hello, Z. She sounds angry. Yeah, but I don't think she really has a right to be. I mean, kind of, she does have a right to be angry, but it's also, like, kind of unfounded. How was your day, Z? Why couldn't you say that for Satoshi-kun? It's too late now. I was the one screaming like you back then, but no matter how loudly I screamed, it never reached them, spared him, or saved him. I want you to go through the same thing I did. I stabbed Satoko's arm repeatedly, but the knife kept hitting her bone. It didn't feel like I was cutting any of her flesh.
Yoshi, シオン。じゃあこうしよう。サトコの助け方を教えてあげよう。あんたはこれから1000回ごめんなさいって言うんだよ。言い終わったらサトコを解放する。どう？私は嘘をつかないよ。あんたが1000数えたら絶対に約束を守る。
All the people who's in the old version of the mod community, around 90 people to work on the mod. Wow. That's crazy. So it's gonna be a big thing then. That's gonna be very cool then. If you get like 90 people to work on the mod.
あんたがけじめをつけたってことをちゃんと理解してね。
Is she gonna let her go by like letting her go down the well or something?
どうするの？ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめん
Shion started to apologize like a broken record. She's so stupid and honest. She's not even thinking of cheating. I bet Shion really will count to 1,000. I stabbed Satoko in the wrist. There, I felt something hard. Guess I either crushed her bone or scraped it. It must have been extremely painful for her. Satoko screamed. So, and you have to solve for X, Roach? Shion's voice got louder as if trying to overpower that scream.
泣くのはあんたの先輩特許だ
And
ね。
50 of them are playtesters because none of them know how to do coding a suspect. I mean, playtesters still are helpful. You know, it's a lot of feedback.
泣けばニーニーが来てくれる？ニーニーがかけてきて私を跳ね飛ばしてあんたを助けてくれるのかな？
The knife was still in Satoko's wrist. Hello, Dianea. I saw you playing Helldivers, or was that Rissa?
さとこ、私の声が聞こえる？聞いてる？
It was Rissa,
手
okay.
をこら！
I slapped her face several times or made her look at me.
あんたは自分の罪が分かってる？あんたの存在がどれほどにサトシ君を追い詰めていたか。
ニーニー
そう。あんたはニーニーって泣けばよかった。泣きさえすればいつもサトシ君がかばってくれた。でもね、サトシ君の負担ってものを考えたことがある？サトシ君はね、あんたのヒーローでなければ不死身でもない。あんたと同じね。傷つけば血も流れ、痛めばうめく、全く同じ人間なの。あんたの代わりに矢面に立ってくれたサトシ君の痛みを、
Dude, this is so
あんたは理解
violent.
していたの？
This is ridiculous.
してない。しようとさえしなかった。あんたはサトシ君に甘えてた。サトシ君に寄生していた。そうさ。
I don't even know what to say. Like, there isn't anything I could say to
お前は
this.
生きてきたの
This
さ。
is just ridiculous.
こ
Like,
んな呪われた身でありながら、この後に及んでまだサトシ君の名を呼ぶのか。
what did Surplus say during this scene?
あんたはその罪を今から償うのさ。私の手によってね。好きなだけ泣き叫べばいい。そしていくら泣いてもサトシ君が助けに来てくれないことを知るがいい。 そう。お前が追い詰めた、お前がいなくした、お前がサトシ君を殺してしまったんだ。
After telling her I'd been wanting to. All I'd been wanting to, I exhaled roughly.
どうしたよ。右腕はもう感覚がない。じゃあ左腕にするか。
I stabbed her left arm repeatedly and her blood flowed out. But Satsuko's reaction wasn't fun anymore. She didn't cry or scream like she did before. That put me in a bad mood, so I stabbed the back of her left hand and twisted the knife again. But Satsuko still just moaned. She didn't scream
ど
anymore.
うしたの？叫ぶと私を喜ばすと思って。せめて悲鳴を絞って抵抗ってわけ。そりゃいいや。
Satsuko was unfazed by my mad laughter. She looked at me with gritted teeth and resignation.
ええ。私も、そう思ってましたのよ。
は？
私が、ニーニーを追い詰めたから、いなくなってしまった。ニーニーがいなくなったその日に、もう気づいてましたのよ。私が甘えていた、ニーニーのすねをかじり続けてしまった。ニーニーも、辛かったはずなのに、私は、ニーニーにすがることをやめられなかった。その点につきましては、あなたの言う通りですわ。弁解の余地なんて。
If you remember chapter 2, Z, where like the Mion was killing everyone, this is from her point of view now. So it's like, or like not, well, okay, if you want to get into specifics, I'm not sure if it's exactly the case, but it's like, it's very similar. So we're viewing the point of view of when she killed everyone. Satsuko didn't sound like if she was mocking me or trying to please me. She spoke so naturally.
ちょっと意外だね。あんたが自分の罪に自覚があったとはね。
ニーニーは、きっと帰ってきてくれる。いつか、きっと帰ってくるんですの。でもね、帰ってきたら、私、もう一人前になっているところを見せるんですのよ。私、もうニーニーに甘えない。背中に隠れたりしない。しっかりした一人前になったことを、教えてあげるんですの。
帰ってきたらいいね。帰ってきたら。
I stabbed Satsuko's arm in a mad frenzy, but she still didn't even scream. She bit down tightly and swallowed her pain instead.
ニーニーは、きっと帰ってきてくれますの。絶対に。絶対に帰ってきてくれますの。それまで待ってるんですの
I think
よ。
he is. I think he is.
そして、ニーニーに、今まで甘えてきて、本当にごめんなさいって謝るんですの。それまで、負けるものか。負けるものか。もう私は絶対にニーニーに甘えたりしないの。どんな苦難にも、ニーニーの助けを呼ばない。呼ばない。泣かない。叫ばない。泣いたら、ニーニーが来てしまう。だから、私は一人で耐えてみせるんですのよ。
上等抜かすな、小娘が！
私をいじめて楽しいなら、いくらでもお楽しみあそばせ。でもね、それで私がニーニーに助けを求めたりするのを期待しているんでしたら、お気の毒ですわね。私は、泣かないんだから、絶対に、疑うなら好きなだけ試してみろ。
Damn. Okay, Satsuko, go off.
ニーニーは見ててくれる。私が本当に我慢強くなって一人前になったことを見ててくれる。私が泣き虫じゃなくなったことを見ていてくれる。それをニーニーが見届けてくれたとき、きっとニーニーは帰ってきてくれるんですのよ。さあ、いくらでも試してみろ。私は泣かない。涙も見せない。北条里子がどれほどの強さを持つか、試してみろ。
Shit. I'll show her. Take that, and that, and that!
ニーニー、見てますわよね。里子は、こんなにも我慢強くなったんですのよ。もう何が起こってもへこたれませんの。こんなことを、この程度で、 こんな
Hey,
暗いで。
Ruben.
私は泣かない。助けを呼ばない。耐えられる。耐えてみせる。ニーニーが私に代わって傷ついてくれた痛みには、こんなのはるかに及ばないんだから。
Shit! 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 Why doesn't she feel the pain? Doesn't it hurt? Gotta go to bed early tonight because I have my state testing tomorrow and I have to wake up early. Okay, Roach, thanks for stopping by. Good luck with your math homework and have a good night's sleep. Enjoy, or not enjoy. Good luck on your testing tomorrow. Bye. There's no way it doesn't. I've been stabbing her so much and the knife went so deep. Her blood has poured to the ground and I've been turning her flesh inside out. How can she still talk that way? Why doesn't she scream and cry? After Satoko said what she wanted to say, she shut her mouth. She didn't say a word after that. No matter how much I stabbed her, twisted the knife, tore at her, and ripped out her flesh, she didn't even make a sound. What in the world is this? This isn't the Satoko I know. Satoko is never as strong as this. If Satoko was this strong, she would have been a burden to Satoshi-kun. Why wasn't she as strong before? It's too late. Everything is too late. This idiot's maturity came far too late. Her blood made my hands slippery and I dropped the knife. I was covered in blood from head to toe. Satoko was still enduring the pain. She was enduring this cruelty so she could display her strength. I couldn't defeat Satoko. I couldn't crush her strength. Satoko had achieved her goal. She had become independent so she didn't need Satoshi-kun anymore. A 3D horror game would probably be more like a movie since it's like... I guess, no, there are ways you can make it into a game. Like, there are a lot of RPG Maker games that could, that, like, emulate this style where it's just one story. So I'm sure there would be some way to do it. She still believes Satoshi-kun will come back one day. She looks forward to a day where she can show her brother how strong she had become. But Satoshi-kun hasn't seen any of that. Instead, I, who never even thought that Satoshi-kun would come back, was the one who witnessed her strength. What was I thinking? I thought Satoshi-kun was dead. No, I assumed he was. Why did I? I never even thought of waiting for him. I didn't believe he would come back. I didn't wait. I tried to avenge him, but I guess what I really did was forget about him. Satoko is different. She never even thought he was dead. No, maybe she did a little. But even so, she waited. She waited for a day where she could show him how much she'd grown. She waited patiently. What about me? I didn't do anything. I wanted to forget about my sadness, so I tried to find my enemy. I became a demon, using my revenge as an excuse, so that I didn't have to think like a human. I lost. I couldn't endure the pain of waiting for Satoshi-kun, so I chose to become a demon. In other words, I got rid of my soul, the soul that loved Satoshi-kun. In other words, I got rid of Satoshi-kun himself. Satoko won. While she'd been gritting her teeth before, her mouth had gone slack. Her eyelids were half what? Man. Her eyelids were half shut, but I could see her eyes a little. Ignore what I just said. They looked like she was dreaming about something happy. Satoshi-kun was there in her eyes. Satoko endured until Satoshi-kun came for her. Satoko ran up to Satoshi-kun. She jumped onto him. Satoshi-kun hugged her, and they spun around. You can cry now. Satoshi-kun saw Satoko that, and she cried very hard. Satoshi-kun rubbed her head so gently. We'll be together forever, he said, and continued to rub her head so gently. So gently. Satoshi-kun, I was waiting for you too. With meaningless words, he was already dead inside of me. I never believed in our reunion. How pitiful of me to say that. Just because I saw Satoko and Satoshi-kun together again. As Satoshi-kun hugged Satoko, his eyes met mine. Shion, Satoshi-kun said. I asked you a favor. What favor? I tried to remember. What kind of favor did Satoshi-kun ask me? Satoshi-kun looked at me so sadly, because I couldn't remember. To have fun with everyone, or something? That sad look tore my heart to shreds. The blood flowing out of me wasn't as pretty as Satoko's blood. My blood was a slimy liquid like vomit with filthy chunks of food in it. That was what filled my body.
この村の何者かの陰謀だろうと、僕は絶対に消えない。消されない。
消えないよ、サトシ君は。
消えないよ、サトコに。あのぬいぐるみを買ってやるまではね。もうすぐ、お給料がもらえることになってる。その日までは絶対に消えない。
Huh? Memory of the past, but when? Ah, of course. This was a memory of the day before last year's Watanagashi. Satoshi-kun called me on the phone then.
あ、おばさんが帰ってきたから、もう切るよ。
Wait a second. So... What? Because... How is it possible, then, that in Chapter 3, Keiichi called Mion or Shion or whoever that was, and then got the answer of, this was the exact same thing that Satoshi said to me. Like, I don't get how that's possible, then, if this is the timeline we see here. How is... Unless, like, somehow a fake number was given, but I just don't get it. Like, this doesn't... Like, I can't wrap my head around this. I think I need more gas station brownies. I think that's a good idea, Z.
ミオン。
何?
His aunt was home, so I'm sure you wanted to hang up as quickly as possible. Satoshi-kun paused and spoke.
サトコのこと、頼むからね。
My knees and elbows started to shake. My teeth chattered and my fingers were shivering. Satoshi-kun asked me to... What have I done? Couldn't wait for Satoshi-kun to come back. So I filled myself with evil thoughts and acted as I pleased. I didn't believe he'd ever return. I even forgot about Satoshi-kun's last request. How can I say I love him? I just wanted to forget my feelings of loss, so I made myself all bloody. How can I welcome him back now? I didn't believe Satoshi-kun would come back. I didn't believe Satoshi-kun was alive. I didn't think he was alive, so I thought he was dead. I believed his death. Killed him. And myself. Nobody else did. I did that. But Satoko believed until the very end. She was rewarded in her final moments. Satoko wasn't here anymore. She had no more need for a bloody, painful shell. But I'm still here, trapped in my bloody, tainted flesh. I'm gonna rot inside of it. Satoshi-kun was waiting for both Satoko and me. But to be reunited with Satoshi-kun, had to keep our promises. Satoko's promise was to be strong. Satoko kept that promise until the bitter end. But Satoshi-kun embraced her. My promise was to take care of Satoko for Satoshi-kun. I never kept the promise from the beginning. Therefore, Satoshi-kun will never embrace me. Even if I were to rub Satoko's wounds and ask her if they hurt, that wouldn't mean anything. That was when I felt something behind me. It was Satoshi-kun, or the thing that scared me before. I didn't know who it was, but it was right there, criticizing me for my mistakes. Then I finally realized it. That thing is me. I had always been there, standing behind myself and watching me break that promise. Satoshi-kun asked me to take care of Satoko, yet I didn't keep that promise. I had been watching that happening. I cried. I gave up on myself. Wait, Satoshi-kun gave up on me, and I gave up on myself. What will happen to me now? I don't want to be in this darkness. I don't want to be all bloody. Please don't leave me. If I give up on myself, what will happen to my body? There'll be nothing left. The only thing I have left in me is an evil demon. I get it. I've known it for a long time now. I am Nothing but a demon. A demon doesn't feel sad. A demon's heart can never be in pain. A demon doesn't cry. Shion was still apologizing. She believed that was the only way for her to save Satoko. Her voice was growing hoarse and weak.
もう数えなくていいよ。ご苦労さん。
I guess she realized what happened to Satoko. Shion cried in her cell. Why'd you get your gas station brownies?
鬼ってのも悪くないね。人が泣いたり叫んだりするのを見るのがこんなにも楽しいものだなんて知らなかったよ。私も人の世ってやつを十分に楽しませてもらったからね。そのうち自らの命を絶って鬼の国へ帰らせてもらうよ。でも安心しな。その前にちゃんとあんたは殺していく。あんたを殺すために今があるんだもの。人を嘆かせて泣き声をすするのが私の鬼の優越だもんね。そうだ、あんたはケイちゃんが好きだったね。よし、あんたの前でケイちゃんを引き裂いてあげるよ。これは極めつきだね。その後にあんたを殺し、私も殺そう。そうさ、鬼が淵村は鬼の村。
There was any potential for a good in Shion? From which point are you talking about? Because I think the good for Shion was decided from birth. From the way she was treated, she held resentment from that point. Or, actually no, I lied. I think at the point of when they swapped for the final time. And Shion, or Mion, got tattooed. I think that's the point when there was no turning back. And resentment, there's always just resentment in her voice from then on. So if they never swapped that day, I think there definitely was. But yeah, that's how I see it.
かつて鬼が淵より湧き出した鬼が村を襲った伝承のある村。私もまた伝承の鬼たちのように猛威を振るい、そしてお社様の裁きを待とう。それでこそひなみ沢村にふさわしい災禍と言えるだろうね。
Demons came out from the swamp and attacked the village. I'm gonna act like this. I wonder if that's the same thing like what happened in chapter 3. There's a company to a Shion maniacally laughing? That's crazy.
私です。シオンです。
Okay, let's see what... This is the part when Keiichi calls out Shion. So what happens from then?
電話、なかなか出なかったんで、お留守かと思って切ろうとしてたんですよ。
ごめん。ちょっとお風呂に入っててさ。
それでも、ご家族の方が電話を取りませんか？ひょっとして、ケイちゃんの家、今、ご両親はお留守なんですか？
いや、別に、留守ってわけじゃ。そんなことより、聞いたか？リカちゃんとサトコの件。
いえ、結局あの後、どうなったんですか？見つかったんですか？
So this is when Keiichi's trying to act like, oh yeah, everything is, he's just trying to have a normal conversation, but then he breaks.
ケイちゃん、どうか気を落とさないで。
リカちゃんとサトコは、さらわれたんだよな。
はい、それは間違いないでしょうね。
リカちゃんとサトコは、いや、ごめん、村長さんは、さらわれて、どうなったと思う？まだ、生きてるんだろうか？
Keiichi sounded confused. He wanted to believe Satoko and Rika were still alive, which is why he was asking. Keiichi was just like Satoko. Unless the culprit was after money, the abductee would usually get killed right away. I never assumed they'd still be alive, but Keiichi was trying to hold on to a little hope. I could feel his strength. It was much greater than mine. I'm a demon, so I didn't come up with an excuse.
殺されちゃったんだと思います。
おいおい、そんなにあっさり。
人間をさらって、その状態を維持す
Yeah,
る
what
の
does
って
Surplus
と
say
ても
about this?
大変
Yeah,
な
yeah,
ことだと思い
exactly.
ます。人質にするんでもない限り、用が済んだら殺しちゃうのが一番合理的じゃないかと。
殺しちゃうって、そんなにあっさり。人の命を何だと思ってやがるんだ。
恐ろしいことだとは思いますが、多分、そうではないかと。
村長が殺されたということは。
Sad my girls are fighting. Yeah.
リカちゃんやサトコも同じように殺されたかもしれないということなのか。
Well, just ask him so we give a brief response. Okay.
いや、そんなはずは。どっかのじじいとはわけが違うぞ。リカちゃんだぞ。サトコだぞ。そんなにあっさりと殺すはずは。
Keiichi was still refusing to believe what I said. I think it's probably the best scene in 5. Okay. Satoko torture scene was the most intense and uncomfortable I'd ever been watching an anime. Damn. Oh, I see what you mean, Ziba. You're saying I'm definitely getting high this morning. I see, I see. Well, good for you then. What do I think? Good on Satoko. Very good on her. I think in that situation, the most you can do is not give your killer satisfaction. You're already powerless at that moment. You can't do anything. The most you can do is not to give your killer satisfaction. That's what I think. And she did it. She defied her until the very end. And I mean, as it said in the thing, Satsuko won. She did. It didn't matter if, like, her imagining with Satoko going to Satoshi and all that was, like, make-believe or not. Like, regardless of that being the case, Satsuko defied her until the very end. And she got no satisfaction from getting from killing her. And as she remembered, I mean, like, yeah, there's, like, it's just, I'm happy for Satoko because she was able to go against her. That's what I think. He fought so hard because he didn't want to kill his friends within him. To think her enduring abuse is her idea of strength. You see, definitely not, right? And you're, like, it's a different case if you're in a place where you can get help and you can't get help. If you can get help, it's okay to lean on other people. But her idea was that, like, she doesn't need any help, which is that her problem got her into the first place. In this case, she can't get any help. There's no one to help her. It's only her and her, I guess, killer. So all she can do is defy that person. But when she's in another place where she can get help, where she can be assisted by other people, she chose not to rely on them, which is the thing that I don't like. That her thing, like, it's a very stark contrast, right, to what I believe in both cases. But I feel like the difference is you have other people surrounding you to help you. But yeah. Skibbity, thank you, Z. I wasn't like that. I killed Satoshi-kun within me so easily. But I think, that is the best thing she could be, because, like, at the other time, when she's living with her uncle, she can't defy them because by her, okay, the difference is by her defying, the uncle acts even worse towards her. But in this case, she cannot act like what Shion is doing. Like, there's nothing else that can be worse. Like, she's going to be killed no matter what. So because she's going to be killed, if you know that and you resign yourself to it, you should just, like, yeah, just take it. You put a vid, yeah. When we get to, like, a pausing point here, we'll put the vid. I blamed Shion for not protecting Satoshi-kun, but I killed him so easily.
リカちゃんとサトコちゃんも同じだと思った方がいいでしょうね。
Keiichi roared and cried. It was like their deaths were physically agonizing to him.
どうして人をさらったり殺したりするんだよ。たたりだかなんだか知らないが、人の命ってのはそんなに安いのかよ。あっさり消したり殺したり。
ええ、全くです。悪魔ですよね。
Showing things don't have to be this. Yeah, exactly. I laughed at myself. I was sure Keiichi didn't
なあ、
notice.
死を教えてくれ。どうしてこのひなみ沢では綿流しの夜に人が死ななければならないことにな。
それは私が知りたいです。
もうダム計画との戦いは終わったんだぞ。なのにどうしてまだたたり足りないんだ。どうしてだよ。どうして。理由があるなら言ってみろよ。
ケイちゃんの気持ち、私もよくわかります。ダム闘争はとっくの昔に終わったんです。なのに毎年、お社様のたたりという名の殺人と失踪が繰り返されている。なぜ？どうしてなんですか？全然関係ない人もいた。たたられるのに不相応な人だっていたのに、どうして？どうして？
それを俺が聞いてるんだ。
Oh my gosh, dude. This is like, even though we see Shion and he's like, we know that like, you know, that Shion is the evil person, I'm still getting annoyed with Keiichi in this moment. I am still just like, Keiichi, please shut up.
それを私だって知りたいんですよ。
Of course, the curse of Oyashiro-sama never existed. It was just a bizarre environment that allowed people to kill in the name of Oyashiro-sama. The environment and nothing more. Nothing would have happened unless there were demons who danced
いい
within
です
it.
か？お社様のたたりなんて非現実的なものは初めから存在しません。ケイちゃんの言う通り、村の何者かがお社様のたたりというもっともらしい大義名分を利用して、綿流しのたびに殺しと失踪を繰り返しているんです。奴らは狡猾でした。たたりを都合よく利用して、村の旧敵を毎年2人ずつ消し去るシステムを構築していったんです。そしてこのシステムで今年は高野さんたちが殺された。
じゃあ2人で十分じゃねえかよ。どうして村長やリカちゃんやサトコまで殺されなくちゃならないんだよ。それに俺は過去のことは今さらどうでもいいんだ。リカちゃんとサトコがなぜ殺されなくちゃならなかったのか。どうしてなんだ。
No, I mean, this one made me sympathize with the kid. He has no clue what's going on, losing his friends one by one. I mean, definitely, right? Like, maybe this is just me seeing it, you know, the way I am. But it's like, yelling at Shion is not gonna make anything better, you know? Like, I don't know. It's like, how is yelling at her gonna make anything better?
サトコには打ち明けですらないんだぞ。どうしてサトコまで。どうしてなんだ。
Satoshi-kun was speaking through Keiichi's mouth. How could I respond? I didn't know what to say. I could only feel myself being stabbed by the sharpness of those
ケイ
words.
ちゃん、もういじめないでください。私だって何が何だかわからないんです。西宮殿に忍び込んだあの晩から全てが変わってしまった。あの晩、高野さんたちが死んだと聞き、耳を疑いました。そしてすぐに気づいたんです。今度は自分が狙われる立場になったんだって。忍び込んだのは私たち4人。私とケイちゃんだけが都合よく許してもらえるわけがない。
It might be. Yeah, I definitely think the voice is definitely something that I do not like. Like Keiichi's yelling and the way he yells, I have never liked. Like just Keiichi's voice in general, I always got annoyed by. So maybe that has to be the case.
そう思った時、それがどれだけ心細くて恐ろしいことだったか、ケイちゃんにはわかりますよね。だから私、君吉のおじいちゃんに打ち明けたんです。君吉のおじいちゃん、怒らなかった。そしてにっこり笑って、しおんちゃんがちゃんと反省してるなら鬼隠しになんかなるものかって、本当に
笑いながら、任せなさい。
And this is where Keiichi confronts her. I want to hear, like, what her inner thoughts were at this time. I remembered Uncle Kimiyoshi speaking ill of Satoshi-kun. I killed him, but everyone in Hinamizawa did that. I wasn't the only one at fault.
いつ村長に打ち明けたんだよ。ごめんな、シオン。悲しい気持ちのところに追い打ちをかけるようで。シオンは打ち明けたんだよな、君吉のおじいちゃん、つまり村長に。
はい。
いつ打ち明けたんだよ。
Keiichi's tone was becoming sharper. That edge was cruel, but it was a sharp conviction. It wasn't a dull edge that caused excessive pain. It had a clean, pleasant sharpness to
村
it.
長さんは重い痔を患ってて病院にかかっていたという話は知ってるか？
ケイちゃん、それが、何か。
答えてくれ。知らないなら知らないと答えればいい。
痔だったのは、知ってます。座るときとか辛そうでしたから。
病院に通ってたんだ。どこの病院かは知ってるよな。
ごめんなさい。それはちょっと知りませんけど。
It's just the way the subtitles is. Oh, okay. This feels like. I'm actually so excited. I've been waiting for this moment where Keiichi confronts her.
でも、ケイちゃん、それが一体。
単刀直入に聞きたいんだ。シオンはいつ村長に打ち明けたんだ？どこで？いつ？大雑把でいいから教えてほしいんだ。
ケイちゃん、なんでそんなこと。
Very good, Keiichi Maibara. You know who I am,
あ
don't
りえ
you?
ないんだよ。村長が失踪した日、朝から消えるまで。シオンには接触できる機会はありえないんだ。
そんな。
村長は朝一で誰にも内緒の大学病院へ一人で診察に出かけた。シオンは今この病院を知らないと言った。だから帰ってくるまで村長と接触することはできないはずだ。そうだろう。帰りの電車が事故で遅れたので自宅に帰ってきたのは会合の始まる直前だった。つまり会合が始まるまでの時間にも打ち明ける時間的余裕はないんだ。シオンも一緒に会合に出たのか？そして会合の席上で打ち明けたのか？ここで打ち明けなきゃもう時間がないもんな。会合が終わった後村長は帰宅途中で失踪するんだから。
実は会合にで。
あの日シオンが行くと言ったバイトすら君は欠勤してるんだ。もっと端的に言おう。君は俺と一緒に行った図書館以降誰にも目撃されていない。
ケイちゃん。
Or she told Keiichi about the details of Kimiyoshi's disappearance. Shion's story regarding when she confessed to Kimiyoshi about going to the shed. Wait. She told Keiichi about the details of bringing up an inconsistency. Which inconsistency? Did she confess to Kimiyoshi about going to the... Oh, like... Yeah, like... You mean in general? About, like... Like when, like in chapter 2 when Oishi told Keiichi about like that police report?
その時シオンは綿流しの翌日に失踪したんだ。
Bingo, Kei-chan. I'm impressed.
大石さんは君が失踪していると言っているんだ。でもシオンはこうして毎晩俺に電話をかけてきてくれただろう。頼むシオン、俺が言ったことが間違ってるならそうだと言ってくれ。シオン、頼むから。
Corner me even further. Corner me so the demon inside can't come up with excuses so that it can't escape.
シオン、お前は村長に会ってなんかないんだ。もし会ったとしたなら。
The only time I could have possibly seen him on that day was...
村長が会合を終えた後、すなわち失踪する直前、もしくは失踪してからしかありえないんだ。
Are we gonna see the picture? Click. I screeched and screeched with laughter, then slammed down the phone. Very good, Kei-chan. That's right. It's me. I'm the one. Hurry and corner me. Hurry, let me be free. Was he going to tell the police or was he going to come here by himself? I wondered which it would be. If the police came, I'd struggle as much as I was able. I'd see how good Oishi would be at catching a demon. If Kei-chan came here alone, that wouldn't be smart of him. He couldn't complain about being eaten by a demon then. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him gruesomely while Shion watches. Therefore, Kei-chan, you shouldn't hold back. I only ever thought you were just a funny guy. I never could expect so much from you. Okay. Oh wait, it's just the next day already? Okay, we're going to the next day. Cool. Let's watch your video then before we continue. Why'd you put this? Why did you put this? Dude, this is so stupid. Oh my god. Ruben, it's... No, okay. So, when I sleep at night, I've been planning this for hours. Okay. When I go to sleep at night, right? I wear one of the like those sound sleep masks. Like, let me see. That's a sleep sound. Like, where is this? Like one of these. Right? This is what I wear. Okay? I have like, it has speakers on either side, right? It's a sleep mask and it like plays sound and stuff like that. So I can listen to stuff while at the same time, like I'm not looking at a screen, like I'm going to sleep. When doing this, obviously you can't look at your phone. So I just let my YouTube autoplay during this time. And when I woke up this morning and looked at like first of all, it was the Charlie Kirk, like when I woke up, it was playing the Charlie Kirk Filipino version song, right? And I'm like, what the hell? How did it get here? And I was scrolling through my watch history, and I sent it to Dianea, which is how she found out. And I was scrolling through my watch history, and the things that it came up in the autoplay were some of the stupidest things ever. This being one of them, right? It's like well, at the time, I think it was less than 10 views or something, right? So this was one of the videos that came up at the time. I don't even know why I got this recommended to me. And it was like a bunch of printer videos. So that's where this, yeah. So that's where that came from. I don't even know why that happened, but yeah, that's what I got. I thought you'd want to see it. I actually did watch it, like when because like I was like, what even is this? And I clicked on it and I watched it. So this is the second time I'm watching it. Yeah. It took a long time to come for me. I had to wait until the following morning. I opened the gate without checking who was ringing the doorbell. I didn't even care who it was. If it was the police, that'd be fine with me. If it was Kei-chan. Could he defeat me? Keiichi and Rena were there.
こんな時間に珍しいね。二人とも学校は？
学校は、休んだよ。
ケイちゃんはともかく、レナも？二人とも不良なんだからな。
I laughed.
立ち話もなんでしょ？入りなよ。
I didn't think Rena would come. I thought it would be either the police or Kei-chan alone. I'll try tricking Kei-chan into coming with me to the underground storehouse. Rena, why don't you try to figure out what I'm attempting to do and stop me? You too, Kei-chan. You figured out I was Shion. Why don't you try to figure out the rest? I will act like a demon. I will struggle until the very last moment. So don't hold back. Please don't hesitate to kill a filthy demon like me.
ミオ、まず、謝ることがある。
ケイちゃんが？何を？
綿流しの晩、俺は、神社の、祭具殿に、入ったんだ。
I didn't expect this to start with an apology. Okay, so you admitted his sin of entering the ritual storehouse. I guess that was manly of him. I don't even care the storehouse is forbidden anymore. Whatever. That rule came from those who believed it was a sacred place after all.
ミオ、おととい、リカちゃんとサトコを呼んだろ。
覚えはないけど、そう思うに足る根拠があるなら聞かせてもらえる。
Well, that's what Diane was saying yesterday, that I might finish this off this stream.
夕方過ぎのお夕食前の時間。リカちゃんが来たはずだよ。お醤油の大瓶を持ってお裾分けしてもらいに。
Rena spoke with confidence. She wasn't even trying to gauge my reaction. She was simply telling me the truth. A man's man, always. He probably used his Old Spice. That cleverness was very pleasant to see.
どうしてそう思う？
そんなに難しい話じゃない。みーちゃんも見たでしょ？リカちゃんの部屋。冷ややっこがあるのに、お醤油がなかった。
He definitely uses that.
そして、流しの下にあるはずの醤油の大瓶も、瓶ごとなかった。
何それ？それが私のとこへ来る理由になるわけ？
Rena sure is sharp. I tried to beat around the bush, but she was confident in her conclusions. She was cornering me. She was doing such a great job, too. It really put me at ease. Okay, Demon. Rena knows what she's talking about. What kind of excuse are you going to come up with now?
長くなるから説明は省くけど、冷蔵庫の中身が、みーちゃんの呼び出した話の内容まで、如実に物語っちゃってるの。
So we got a cookie tray that had a stick of Old Spice deodorant in it. I forgot about it. It was locked in it for actual years. When I opened it, the scent was so strong. Like a cookie jar type thing? Why would it have Old Spice? Like, was it in the kitchen? Or what? There it is. Or did you have it, like, in your room when you were, packing up to move? And then you just found it and opened it up. It's in that old people use. Oh! Those, like, okay, yeah, like the butter cookies, I think they're called, right? It was in your closet. Okay. There it is. This game's over. Benna, I was right about you. I don't like you. You really are just too sharp. Shion is so obtuse that she never even recognized the side of you.
これは。とんだ名探偵が身近にいたもんだよ。まさか、冷蔵庫の中身だけで、電話の内容まで見破るとは。参ったな。参った。
I laughed like crazy. I laughed because I was having so much fun. I sensed the poison inside my stomach dissipating, and I felt free and refreshed.
ミオ、警察は、もうとっくにお前を疑ってるんだ。この家も、大石さんの部下が踏み込もうと、今も様子を伺ってる。
What is this song? Why did it go... Okay. Kei-chan was threatening me. He was telling me I couldn't run or resist, so I should just surrender and accept my fate. You aren't doing that intensely enough, Kei-chan. Shouldn't you grab my collar and knock me to the ground? Today's the day I'm prepared to die. After that, they went easy, because they just want to know the reason why Mion committed such crimes. You all are being too lenient about this. I'm a demon. I'm a murderer. Are you saying that if you can understand the reasoning, murder is okay? A demon is a demon. A murder is a murder. Whether their motive is to have fun, to live, or take revenge, that makes no difference. Why do you even want to know that? Why don't you just tackle me and take me to the police? Look, there. The demon trying to deceive you.
初めてご挨拶申し上げます。園崎本家当主跡継ぎ、ミオンでございます。本日はようこそ、園崎本家においでくださいまし。当主お寮に代わりまして、皆様にご挨拶申し上げます。
Look, there, the demon's trying to deceive you. What do you mean?
皆様におかれましては、私にお話しできることでしたら、包み隠さずお話ししたいと存じます。
I then told him about the strange events that led to Onigafuchi village becoming Hinamizawa, which Takano-san had told me about before. About half of it was the truth, the other half was completely made up. Just made it sound like it was only natural that their best friend committed such a gruesome crime. Keiichi and Dana were both overwhelmed by the history of Onigafuchi village, which was swallowed by this gloomy fate. Oh, well, I guess I made it sound interesting enough. I'm sure they enjoyed hearing me tell the story. Okay. For half of it to be made up, I don't know what, like, crazy improv Mion has, or like Shion has inside her head here, but like, this is, like, this is crazy. Forgot it first showed up in this arc, and let's remember for the other scenes. Okay. Sure, they enjoyed hearing me tell the story. But you know, I'm the one who committed the incidents that happened in the present time. What was the point of listening to these old folk tales? Are you thinking it'll make your best friend's crime easier to swallow? You're just trying to satisfy yourselves. I'm a demon. I'm a murderer. I have sinned. These old folk tales have nothing to do with the crimes I've committed. The way those two listened to me so intensely almost made it fun. I told them that people used to make canned human meat and conducted gruesome research during the war. Those were things that Takano-san told me. Hey, you two. Haven't you realized it yet? Haven't you realized that what I'm talking about has nothing to do with what we're dealing with right now? You both look so serious. You two are such fools!
南沢村を再び鬼ヶ淵村のように崇められるに足る神聖な存在に、それが我ら鬼ヶ淵村の末裔の悲願であり、園崎本家の
鬼を継ぐ者。
我が園崎本家は代々当主の名に鬼の一字を加える習慣があるのです。私の名前を手のひらにでも書いていただければ一目瞭然かと。
Keiichi tried to write me on his palm.
本当だ。鬼という文字が含まれてる。
名前だけではありませんよ。この体にも鬼が刻まれているのです。
I stood up and made to show my bare back. Of course I don't actually have a tattoo there.
いいよ、みーちゃん。見せる必要なんて全然ない。
ありがとう。
I laughed a little. They must really believe that I'm their best friend, Mion. My goodness, the demon has won already. You're doing so well at the beginning, too. I eventually sat back down after I finished telling my made-up tear-jerker stories. It's your loss if you all shed tears now. I looked at Keiichi. He wasn't crying, but he was overcome by emotion. I looked at Rena. Surprisingly, she still maintained an aggressive look, showing me her will to fight.
みーちゃんはリカちゃんとサトコちゃんを殺したんだよね。
You're good, Rena. You know what I just told you is an excuse for murder. You usually act like such a goofball, but that's not how you really are. Shion's just looking to be caught to recognize a Shion to be persecuted. She even dehumanized herself as a demon, yeah. You sure are something. You're far sharper than Shion.
他の人のことは殺してもいいとも言わないよ。でも、とにかくみーちゃんはリカちゃんとサトコちゃんを。
弁解はしないよ。私には鬼が宿ってる。名前にも体にも心にも。でも手を下したのは鬼じゃない。園崎ミオン。私本人。ミオンが望んだからリカちゃんとサトコが死んだ。それは変わらない。レナの言う通りだよ。
Yeah, Rena is just the greatest character in this series. Yep, this crazy game still, Teacup. Come on, Rena. Try to figure out who I really am. You still believe Shion, my victim, is the real culprit. Poor Shion, I'm making Rena believe that you're responsible. That was it for Rena, though. How are you doing, though, Teacup? She couldn't figure out I was Mion.
自首しよう。
Rena spoke to Mion.
私たちも一緒に行くよ。
Like my chicken nuggies and mango juice life is... Oh, that sounds great, yeah.
親友を一人きりになんか絶対にしない。
泣くことレナには勝てないわ。
Too bad, Rena, I've won.
自分で自分の罪、どのくらいになるかよくわかってる。たとえ自首が認められても、多分もうここに帰ってくることもないと思う。だから、最後にわがままを聞いてほしいな。
何かな。
30分でいいから、ケイちゃんと二人きりにしてほしい。
Keiichi looks so startled to suddenly hear his name. You're so insensitive, Keiichi. That's what made my sister cry.
ケイチくん、どうかな。ケイチくんが嫌なら、 無理にとは言えない。
そうだね。嫌ならそれでもいいよ。私は鬼だもの。ケイちゃんはよそから引っ越してきた。正真正銘の人間。相入れることなんて、お社様が実在して仲介してくれない限り、絶対
Keiichi
にない。
hesitated a little. Come on, Kei-chan, condemn me and tell me you'd never go.
ああ、いいぜ。
ありがとう。
Fool!
私からもありがとうを言うよ、ケイチくん。
Renana stood up. As promised, she made to
あ、
leave.
いいよ、レナ。ここで待っててくれれば。ケイちゃんとは、庭をぐるりと回りたいだけだから、退屈だったら、私の部屋へ行けばいい。漫画とか好きに読んでていいよ。あ、なんだったらお気に入りの単行本、丸ごと持ってってもいい。
嫌だよ。みーちゃんの本は、みーちゃんのものだもの。勝手に、レナの家に持って帰れない。
あんたは、こんな時に限っていい子なんだから。
I took Rena's head and rubbed it like Satoshi-kun used to do to me.
じゃあ、行こう、ケイちゃん。
The game was over. Too bad, Rena. At least this was more fun than if Keiichi came alone. If he did, he could have asked me to run away with him after hearing my stories. Rena's eyes were like those of a judge. In those eyes, I sensed both affection and observance. I said 30 minutes, so she probably would only wait for 30 minutes. If I took even a second longer, she'd call Oishi. I'm a little disappointed. Rena still thinks I'm Mion. She didn't manage to see through me. I thought somebody like her would see the demon in me. I guess I was wrong. Too bad. Keiichi followed me after putting his shoes
腕
on.
組んでもいいかな。
Such a humble request.
別に構わないぞ。
I took Keiichi's arm. It was as warm as Satoshi-kun's. I felt a little bewildered.
私に腕を組まれたら、なんだか緊張しちゃわない？例えば、急に関節技を決められちゃうんじゃないかな、なんて思ったりとか。
姉妹揃って同じことを言うんだな。思わないよ。全然。
He's remembering that time when I held his arm in town.
シオンもケイちゃんのことが好きだったみたい。
そうなんだ。
I told him how my sister felt. Shion was with Satoshi-kun for a long time, but what they had was friendship. They never had anything more than that. That was why she fell in love with Keiichi. If I were in her position, I also would have fallen in love with him. If Shion was able to fall in love with him, then I could fall in love with him too. Keiichi smiled gently. I almost saw Satoshi-kun in that smile. That Keiichi I knew was worthless and superficial. I never realized that he could smile like Satoshi-kun.
ミオンとシオンは、仲は良かったんだろ？
さあ、どうかな。ケイちゃんは、自分の右手と左手は仲がいいと思う。
Okay, this is the same thing from before.
右手と左手？それは仲がいいとか悪いとか。
そういう関係だから。仲がいいとか悪いとか、そういう尺度では測れない関係。
We've been together since we were born. We've been living in this world as a pair. But I was Mion and she was Shion. Mion was treated specially, and I insisted on being her. Of course, that was unpleasant for Shion. Deciding to be fair, we switched places all the time. We were probably different from other identical twins. We'd only like the same things or do the things the same way. We even managed to share our knowledge and experiences. When we talked about our experiences, we could share them. As Mion and Shion, we shared everything. That's why each of us was both Mion and Shion at the same time. So maybe Shion was the only one who thought that way. I was a little different than that. I was simply letting Shion be Mion once in a while. I was Mion, the successor to the Sonozaki family. I was supposed to be treated specially. I always thought that was my privilege. Just like everyone tried to distinguish between Mion and Shion, I also tried to distinguish between us.
例えば、利き腕というものがあるように、右手と左手には間違いなく優劣の違いがある。もしも鍋つかみが片方しかなかったら、迷うことなく利き腕にするでしょ？そういう差はあったんじゃないかと思う。だからといって、左手がなくなったっていいなんて思う人は誰もいないはず。そんな、よくわからない関係だね。
それは近くにいすぎるから見えなくなっているだけで、きっととても仲のいいことなんだと思う。俺は一人っ子だから、祭りの前日、ミオンとシオンが二人してじゃれ合っているのを、すごく羨ましいと思った。
ないものねだりじゃないの？双子なんて、昔は人をからかったりしてそこそこに面白かったけど。 こうして互いがはっきりと異なる個性を持った今では、かえって邪魔なだけ。
As an older sister, I felt I was mean for thinking that way. So as punishment, I became Shion. Who am I? I never had a solid identity in the first place. I was Mion, then I was Shion. I should have just accepted that. But something has changed. I don't even know if I'm Mion or Shion anymore. Had I really been stupid enough to hope that I would figure that out for me?
シオンは、まだ生きてる。
本当か？
Okay, she looked into my eyes. I nodded quietly.
うん。誰よりもむごたらしい死に方をさせてやろうと、ずっと考えて閉じ込めておいたけど、今日まで、その方法はとうとう思いつかなかった。
This was a lie. I've already come up with ideas. And I've already begun to execute them. I dumped the hag into the well in front of Shion. I dumped Kimiyoshi and Dika in there. I even killed Satoko too. And right now I'm plotting to kill Keiichi, who Shion fell in love with. I am a demon. Any such gruesome act is simply a pleasure to me. That's when I felt a warm hand rubbing my head. It wasn't Satoshi's hand, but Keiichi's. Keiichi and Satoshi are totally different. Why did Shion fall in love with him? His rough hand didn't make me happy. That he understood my feelings was just my imagination. I wasn't happy and it didn't feel good. It didn't...
来て。私の罪のすべてを見てほしいから。でもそれはケイちゃんにとって、この上なく辛い光景かもしれない。
I'm gonna commit my final crime. I'm gonna let you see it. I'm gonna let Shion see it. When I do, are you still gonna think I'm your best friend? Poor Shion. Kei-chan is gonna die thinking it's you who's killing him.
引き返すなら今だよ。ケイちゃんの中の園崎ミオンがどんな人かは知らないけれど、中に入れば、そのミオンはきっと。
変わらない。何度だって言う。園崎ミオンは、俺の最高の親友だ。
You are such a fool. You don't sound cool at all. I don't understand human feelings because I'm now a demon. But I think I can understand why she loves you. I opened the iron door to the underground storehouse and beckoned Keiichi inside. Come on, Keiichi. This is obviously a trap, don't you see? This basement is transparently suspicious. Don't you think you should run to the police? But Keiichi was reckless. He swallowed, then stepped inside. Ha! You really are a fool. We went down the stairs to the basement and I led him into the torture room. Everyone is shocked their first time visiting this room. I used to be that way. Of course, Keiichi looked surprised too, but he was trying not to show it. Obviously, he wanted to express his shock at seeing this horrifying room, but he also knew that if he voiced that shock, he would be rejecting his best friend, who was trying to confess her sins to him. So he did everything he could to stifle his
大
surprise.
昔の当主の書き物によるとね、血のしぶきってのは、犠牲者に負担をかけない割にはインパクトがあるんだってさ。綿流しは見せしめの章だったから。私のご先祖様たちは、様々な章を考案してたんだよ。
What's the reason you think that, Ruben?
ほら、そこが干渉石なんだよ。綿流しは見せしめの章だから、客がいなきゃ意味がない。
Keiichi smiled quietly as he listened to me. No matter what cruelty came out of my mouth, he would embrace me. Was this really the superficial Keiichi Maebara I knew?
みんなここで、私が殺した。見てくれている観客はいなかったけど、私は綿流しを上手にやってみせた。いや、観客は一人だけいたかな。
え？観客？
私という鬼が、ミオンの執り行う綿流しをずっと見てたから。
I started to laugh. How many hints do you need, Keiichi? When are you gonna figure out that I'm not really your best friend? That's okay. What does the AI say? Come on, hurry up, you're running out of time. The game is almost over. This was a game. This was a game of murder. I'd kill people using my revenge for Satoshi-kun as an excuse. The demon was trying to capture Keiichi and kill him before Mion's eyes, but Keiichi had a chance. If he figured out I wasn't his best friend, then he'd win. If not, he was out. When did I come up with that rule? I guess it was sometime today. Or did I come up with it just a minute ago? Since the two of them are too bright, I decided to be easy on them, I guess. You are Mion's best friends, right? Don't you believe her? Have you already made Mion into a murderer within yourselves? Why don't you try to protect the Mion within you? Why don't you try to believe your friend can't be a murderer? If you could believe it until the very end like Satoko did, you would have realized I wasn't Mion, your best friend, but just someone who looks like her. But if you can't, if you still believe I'm Mion, then you're just like me. I just killed Satoshi-kun within me so easily, and you will do the same. You don't deserve to
向こう
live.
が牢屋。
シオンはそこにいるのか？
You're not gonna make it. Once you reach Shion's cell, your time is up. The demon will win.
シオンか？
ケイちゃん。
ケイちゃんなの？
Keiichi ran to the
大
cell.
丈夫か？シオン怪我はしていないのか？
Shion screamed. I was standing right behind Keiichi. It was time. My preparations to kill the boy she loved were complete. For her, this was going to be the worst possible
落ち着
torture.
けシオンもう全部終わったんだ全部
Keiichi tried to quell Shion's distress by talking her in a calm voice. It was such a funny sight. Keiichi was the only one who had no idea what was going
シ
on.
オン、ご機嫌はいかがだった？
もう誰の死を見るのも嫌。私が憎いなら、早く私を殺してよ。憎いのは私なんでしょ。早く殺して
落ち着けってシオンもう終わったんだよ大丈夫なんだだから落ち着け
安心しなよ。あんたは殺さない。まだまだ殺さないんだから。
It's game over. I gave you enough chances. You cornered me quite well once, but that was it. You couldn't figure it out that I'm not your best friend, Mion. You couldn't believe that Mion isn't a murderer.
ケイちゃんを殺さないで。ケイちゃんは何の関係もないでしょ。殺すなら早く私を殺してよ。もう誰が死ぬのも。
そんなに死にたければ、この男を殺した後にゆっくりとひき肉にしてやるよ。古式にのっとり、獅子の先端から少しずつ。ガリゴリと削ってミンチにしてやる。あの肉引き器は、あんたのために取っておいてあるんだからね。それとも、それでケイちゃんをミンチにしてみせた方が、あんたには面白いかな。
おいいい加減にしろ今さら怖がらせてどうするんだよ
Here you are, demon. Go ahead and take my soul. I've been living my life to avenge Satoshi-kun, but that wasn't what he wanted from me. That was just for my own satisfaction. I couldn't even face Satoshi-kun. So I'll bring this to an end in the way I want. The world became a total mess. Satoshi-kun hates me and I hate myself too. If I'm going to complete my revenge, I don't want anyone to sympathize with me. I won't pretend to be some tragic heroine either. I'm going to become a murderer that nobody could sympathize with. So please, grant a suitable, final moment to me. A bluish-white flash filled the huge cave, and Keiichi fell down like a doll. Shion reached out to him from the other side of the bars. She screamed at me not to kill Keiichi. Go ahead, cry and blame me. Don't even think of offering your forgiveness. I am the most rotten existence in this world, so please grant me the worst possible ending. Shion begged me desperately to let Keiichi go. I simply abused her, slandered her, and disgraced her. The more Shion suffered, the deeper I'd fall into hell. It wasn't enough. It wasn't even close to deep enough. It wasn't deep enough to compensate for my sins. I dragged Keiichi to the table that I put Satoko on and restrained him there. Keiichi began to move sluggishly. The stun gun must not have worked on him too well.
聞こえるかい、シオン。これから始めるよ。ケイちゃんの若い悲鳴をたっぷりと楽しみな。
Why does this matter? Like, I understand this is more passive and this is active, right? But why does the choice matter? Also, it seems like there's only been one choice. I'm gonna be honest, I completely forgot there were choices, and I like chose the thing at the very beginning. Yeah, this is like passive and this is more active, but I don't know like why. I don't recall there being choices. Well, you can choose to make there be choices if you want. But I highlighted the correct option and the wrong option. Or like, yeah, I chose the one to highlight the correct and wrong option. Yeah, I don't get... At that time, I became aware of Keiichi's gaze, and then I turned around to face Keiichi. I feel like... I don't know. To me, I would feel very cheated out if, like, I chose the wrong option or the right option, because it's like, they both feel the exact same to me.
いい加減にしろ。
Keiichi squeezed out those words. He sounded good, like he was about to bite
よう
me.
やくお目覚め？私、さっき嘘をついたね。シオンを一番むごたらしく殺してやろうと思って閉じ込めておいたけど、まだ思いつかないって言ったやつ。あれが嘘。
Yeah, I know, that's what I mean. Like, I feel the fact that they both lead to different endings, and yet the choices are so similar, feels like, I don't know, to, like, I understand in Japanese it probably translates better, but in English, like, I don't know, I feel like they should have, I don't know, like, made them more obvious of differences. I smiled as I laid out the huge nails and hammer specially made for the
あ
dinner
の子
table.
に自分のせいで死ぬ大勢の人の悲鳴をたっぷりと聞かせて、体の芯まで染み通らせてから殺すの。なかなかセンスいいでしょ？
お前は誰だ？
は？ミオンでしょ？園崎ミオン。恐怖で頭が変になっちゃった？
違うな。お前が園崎ミオンであるはずがない。
I stopped moving. Kei-chan? Shit. I decided the naming game would be over once we reached Shion's cell. Therefore, even if he guessed it this time, it would be too late. Oh well, sure. I'll listen to you. This is your last chance.
へえ。じゃあ、私がミオンじゃなかったら、私は誰なわけ？
Come on, Kei-chan. Guess who I am? Why don't you try and save Mion, the girl who fell in love with
鬼
you?
だ。
え？
お前はミオンじゃない。さっきまで一緒だったミオンを返せ。
ケイちゃん、本当に頭は大丈夫？恐怖で頭がどうかなっちゃった？
触るな！この鬼め！返せ！ミオンを返せよ！俺の最高の友人だったミオンを返せ！
I listened to him with a blank
ミ
expression.
オンを目の前にしてミオンを返せなどと、お前事であることは分かってる。
Oh, okay, yeah, you'll show me later, you'll show me later.
でも、目の前の今のこいつは、断じてミオンではありえない！認めるわけにはいかないんだ！
Oh, that's great! So I'm not Mion or Shion. He doesn't even see me as my sister. No, wait, that's not it. Keiichi protected the Mion in his heart until the end. He didn't accept the fact that Mion was a murderer. And not just that either. He protected the Shion in his heart as well. No, he's making a game for his class. It's like his project. He didn't conclude that Mion wasn't a murderer, then it must have been Shion. To Keiichi, Shion was someone who always made fun of Mion. But that was it. But it wasn't like they'd known each other for a long time. But Keiichi protected her. He protected Shion from being a murderer. That's why I'm a demon, and not Mion or Shion, huh? A demon, huh? A demon! That's stupid! But isn't that just right on the money?
ケイちゃん、私を笑い涙で溺れ殺すつもり？
However, Keiichi didn't back off. He kept screaming. He screamed so loudly I could hear his voice even when I was stuck inside of the
頑張
demon.
れミオン！こんな鬼畜生に負けるな！本当に強いお前の力を見せてくれ！
Surely he isn't talking to me knowing that I'm the real Mion, right? He's just confusing us again, so there is no reason to let my heart be disturbed by Keiichi's screams towards Mion.
頼むよミオンミオンどこでお前はこんな鬼に負けちまったんだお前はこんな弱いやつじゃないだろ負けるな戦え戦え
He's right. I didn't fight back. How did he know? How did he know I didn't fight back? I lost to the demon. After all, I'm weak. I'm not strong enough to defeat the demon. Even so, Keiichi continued to talk to Mion. His voice had become hoarse and he had begun sobbing. He kept mumbling. Mion. Mion.
ケイちゃん、メイドの土産。なんて気の利いたものじゃないけれど、どうしても知りたがっているようだから、一つだけ教えてあげるよ。私の中に鬼が宿ったのは随分前。その鬼は、私を蝕み、強行に駆り立てようとした。だけれど、私はそれを理性で抑え、鬼はそれで収ま
My
り、
bad.
私はその鬼はどこかへ行ってしまったんだと思い込んでいた。でも、本当は違った。私の中から出て行ったんじゃなく、私の中で眠っていただけだったの。
That was the truth. When I learned about Satoshi-kun's disappearance, my weak soul couldn't take the anger. The sadness and anger filled me to the brim. The insanity had stopped there. Time had healed me and embraced me with memories of Satoshi-kun.
その鬼は、ある小さなことをきっかけに、また目覚めてしまった。それは、何に原因があったと思う？
It was such a little thing.
鬼の私が教えるのも変だけれど、あんたが全てを狂わせてしまった元凶。
A tear rolled down
あ
my
の
cheek.
時、あんたがもらった人形を躊躇なく私に渡していたなら、全ては狂い出さなかったかもしれない。ケイちゃんには理解できないだろうね。理解できなくて当然。だけどね、そこからドミノ倒しみたいに、パタパタパタと、いろんなものが倒れ始めて。
I feel like this is still true, but it's from a different perspective. Maybe it's like when Mion went up and, when Shion, I don't know the names. Like, I'm just gonna refer to them by their actual names over here. When Mion went up to Shion, right, and then started talking about the bear, right? Like their names in here is what I'm talking about. Maybe that's what set Shion off or something. I don't know.
はじめの小さな一つを倒したあなたに自覚がないのは当然だろうけど、あなたが元凶な。
If Kei-chan hasn't done something so insensitive, Shion wouldn't have cried. Shion cried and talked to me about it. That had reminded me of Satoshi-kun. I became jealous of her for having someone she loved so close to her. It was a very small jealousy. That little feeling woke up the demon who was sleeping inside of me. After that, I just let the demon take over. The demon ate up all the sadness from my loss of Satoshi-kun and filled my heart with the notion of revenge, even though I knew that it wouldn't make Satoshi-kun happy. And the scary incidents that followed dragged me to hell from whence there was no escape.
そんな、嘘だろ。
The doll, sorry, the doll, not the bear.
自覚がないのは当然。でも、紛れもなく元凶なのはケイちゃん。あの時、あんたがさりげなく人形を私にあげていたら、多分こんなことにはならなかったと思う。
Was I simply transferring the blame to Keiichi? Such a tiny thing woke up the demon inside of me. The demon would have woken up eventually. I was at fault. I didn't fight back. I let the demon live inside my soul, and I let the demon possess me. Keiichi didn't hide his tears, they were pouring down his cheeks. Maybe he was crying in my place since I'd become the demon and couldn't cry of my own will.
じゃあそろそろいい？この拷問はね、とってもシンプル。左手の小指の先端の節に釘を打つ。順に親指まで打ったらまた小指に戻って、今度は真ん中の節に釘を打つ。
I choose to think what Shion told Keiichi isn't true. Of what exactly? Like everything? Or which things in specific, if not everything?
この調子で15本の釘で左手を打ちつける。それが終わったら次は右手。それが終わったら次は指先ってたくさんの神経が集まってるから、ケイちゃんが想像するよりもはるかに痛いよ。両手30本を打ち終える前に。
That simple doll situation is the root cause of the domino effect? I think she thinks it's true. I don't think that she's lying. I don't think it's the truth. I think that she thinks it is true, but it's not. I put a nail to Keiichi's left pinky. Once I hit it with the huge hammer, it would start. And it would be over.
他の人を拷問するときには何のためらいもなかったけど、なぜかあんたにはためらいがある。
それでミオンの鬼が収まるなら気の済むようにやってくれ。
I didn't understand what he just said, so I tried to repeat his words in my
あん
head.
た、本気で言ってるの？
俺が傷つけたミオンの痛みに比べればこんなの大したことないんだろ。
Yeah, was I just shifting blame? It's hard to say, right? I think she just wanted someone to blame. Because really, it's her own bitterness. Like, to be honest, the thing was, like, as I said, the thing that started was when she and original Shion swapped that day. I think it's the resentment built up because she even said it from before. I can't remember when. I can't remember when she said it, but when she was walking with Keiichi, and she was like, this was like inner monologue, about how, if I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like something along the lines of her being very, very bitter that she has not been able to swap to be Mion ever again, and she enjoyed being Mion and controlling everyone like that. Whereas Shion, on the other hand, didn't really care for that. She just wanted, she just thought it was fun to swap sometimes. Whereas Mion actually enjoyed being Mion. And just her not being able to get any of that, and any of the power that goes along with it. Even when, they were talking about how, Mion, like when searching for Rika and Satoko, she was like, oh, I miss being able to control people like this, you know? Just small things like that. Yeah, it's exactly, it's her complete jealousy of Mion. That's the main thing. She's just jealous.
気の済むようにするといい。その代わり2つ約束しろ。俺を気が済むまで痛めつけたらシオンは許してやれ。西宮殿に忍び込んだ罪にはそれで十分見合う仕打ちをしたはずだ。
あんた、この後に及んで自分よりシオンの心配ができるわけ。
I am Mion Sonozaki. So why are my eyes growing so damp when hearing Keiichi show concern for
も
Shion?
う一つは気が済んだらもうお前は消えろ。その体をミオンに返してやってくれ。それだけだ。
あんたって人には命乞いをするとか、そういう考えは思い浮かばないの？
約束2つじゃなくて3つにしていいか。3つ目は俺を殺すなにしてくれ。
最初に2つって言ったでしょ。だからもうダメ。
そいつは残念。
Even in this situation, Keiichi and I joked around and laughed. And I knew it. I knew why Shion fell in love with him. He's different from Satoshi-kun, but he's a good
多
guy.
分私は約束を守らないよ。鬼だから。
その時は仕方がないさ。
Funny to think Keiichi thinks Mion is literally possessed by a demon. I don't know. The story that he was just told and everything, I don't think it's far-fetched at all. I mean, especially knowing what comes later, that, like, apparently people died, right? And then somehow their dead bodies are able to commit murder. At least that's what is appearing. So, I don't know. Keiichi smiled and then closed his eyes.
ケイちゃん、今の3つ目の願いだけは
The third
聞いて
thing,
もいいよ。
can you leave me alive?
1つ目の願い、シオンを救うこと。これはもう無理。シオンは鬼が殺してしまう。 それはもう決められたことだから止められない。だから諦めて。
I stroked Keiichi's
そ
chin.
して二つ目の願い。この体をミオンに返すこと。これももう無理。今日を境に、ミオンが戻ってくることはもうない。今日以降、もし私の姿があったとしても、それは姿だけ。私の姿をした鬼だから。
そんなことはない。ミオンは、ミオンだ。もう戻ってこないなんて、悲しいことを言うな。
聞こえる？あの音。
I'd been hearing a noise. I knew what it had to be. Bang. Bang. A dull sound was repeating in a regular rhythm. So, I still don't know the person who escaped that day, right? The person who died that day. Because she was with Shion, would have been with Kasai, right? So does that mean, does she leave here? And she... leaves with Kasai? And then she ends up dying somehow? And then Mion ends up dying from the well. And then why would she be trying to escape from the well? That doesn't make any sense. A dull sound was repeating in regular rhythm. It was accompanied by a light tremor. People were trying to force open the iron door to the underground storehouse.
帰りが遅いから、レナが大石を呼んだんでしょ。あのぼやっとした感じの子が、こんなに頭が回るのだけは計算外だったな。
それについては同感だよ。
Really? I wonder how much Kei-chan really knows about Rena. Rena Ryugu. I won this time. Rena couldn't figure out who I was until the end. Or maybe she did. Rena didn't seem confused about whether I was Mion or Shion. Perhaps Rena could tell Mion and Shion apart through her sense of smell. She was good at that kind of thing. No way, I'm overestimating her. I brought out my stun gun so Keiichi could see the
見たこと
sparks.
ないでしょ？本物のスタンガンだよ。かなり出力が上げられるようになってるけどね。
さっき、俺に食らわせたのはそれか。子供のおもちゃには向かねえぞ。
そうだね。
Bang! They must have broken the first door. The path was complicated, but there was no other door except to this one. To this torture room.
殺さないけど、しばらくケイちゃんにはお休みしててもらうね。すぐに大石が来てくれるから。ちょっとの我慢。
Keiichi bit down and smiled bitterly. I paused, hesitating a little. Keiichi opened his eyes to see what was
ごめ
wrong.
んね。ミオンを怪我して。
ここに入る前に約束した。何があっても、俺の中のミオンは変わらない。
でも忘れて。今日以降。もしも私を見かけても、それは、私の屍に取り付いた。鬼なんだから。
Keiichi felt unconscious. I locked the door to the torture room. I locked the door to the huge cave too. That should give me some
シ
time.
オン、さあ、出ておいで。
I opened the cell and told Shion to leave it. She was
あ
crying.
んたがケイちゃんを見逃してほしいと祈ったから。ケイちゃんはスタンガンで伸びてるだけ。もうすぐ警官隊が来るから解放されるよ。ありがとう、ありがとう。でも、シオンにはまだ用がある。ここから脱出するの。
I took Shion to the cell with the hidden passage.
その前にシオン、あんたにミオンを返すわ。脱げ、その服。交換だよ、また。
So... Okay, so yeah, Mion's going to run away here. And Shion will... Okay, yeah, so they do swap. Okay, they do, good.
ほら、紙のゴムバンド。
Shion had no idea what was going on, but she changed the clothes as I ordered her to. I gave her the flashlight and she hung it around her neck.
あんたから先にどうぞ。井戸の底にあるとかいう隠し通路を探すの。
The light from the flashlight was enough to entirely illuminate the way down. Nobody in their right mind would want to descend that well. But Shion obeyed and timidly climbed down the ladder. When she had passed entirely below the rim of the well, I brought out my stun gun and put it to Shion's head. Shion understood the
お
meaning of
姉
that.
ちゃん。
あんたの望み通り、ケイちゃんは救った。代わりにあんたを殺してもいいってことだったもんね。お姉はちゃんと約
That's
束は
how she
守るよ。
dies. Shion's hands and feet were clinging to a very unstable ladder, so there was no way she could protect herself. She was in a critical
ミオ
situation.
ンの格好をしたあんたは、ここから落ちておだぶつ。 私はシオンの格好だからね。ケイちゃんが被害者だと立証してくれるよ。私は岩牢の中で警官隊の助けを待つ。まあ、指紋なんかでバレるだろうけどさ、その頃にはどこかへ身を隠してるってわけ。お姉もなかなかやるでしょ？
私を殺すと、サトシの復讐になる。
そこまで分かってるなら、覚悟はいいよね。
Okay, so. Interesting.
そこまで落ちてサトシ君に謝っといで。
おねえ。この底にはね、サトシはいないよ。
は？あんたら言わなかったっけ？ここに捨てられてるって。
園崎家で殺されてれば、ここに捨てられてると思う。そうは言った。
この後に及んでややこしいことを言うね。もうちょっとわかりやすくお姉に言ってごらん。
私もね、サトシのこと、好きだったんだよ。
そりゃそうだろうね。私が好きになるくらいだもん。
だから、サトシが消えたとき、私も悲しくて、悔しくて、いろいろとね。
それで、
ばっちゃにね、絞め殺してやろうってくらいに。そしたらばっちゃが、次期当主にしか話さないよ。絶対に内緒だよって。
What she said was something hard to believe. The hag said to Shion, the Sonozaki family had nothing to do with the disappearance of Satoshi-kun. Shion couldn't understand, so she asked again. The Sonozaki family had a lot of influence in the underworld because of our dad's connections. In fact, they used such illegal measures during the dam conflict. Therefore, people just assumed the Sonozaki family had pulled the strings when the dam construction incident took place. Even the hag laughed meaningfully and said suspicious things, so everybody believed she was the mastermind. But it was all a performance. It was a hoax by the Sonozaki family head. It was just a bluff. The family took credit for the incidents to make it look like they were pulling the strings. With the influence they already had, this bluff was very believable. Therefore, people thought of the Sonozaki family as the one that had the deep connections in the underworld, and that they were capable of producing any sort of conspiracy. People have believed that since the dam conflict. Orio just smiled at things she had nothing to do with, if she was pulling the strings. When the relatives saw that, they became fearful of Orio's power. When the dam construction site manager was killed, Orio smiled meaningfully. When the relatives saw that, they assumed Orio was behind it. When the Hojo couple fell off the cliff. When the Furude couple died violently. When Satoshi-kun's aunt died and Satoshi-kun disappeared, the hag just smiled meaningfully. Everyone believed the Sonozaki family was behind all those incidents.
嘘だ！あの事件が、園崎家が関わってないってわけ？そんなの信じると思う？
私は、ばっちゃがね、特にサトシの思想については、本当に知らないって言ったの。だって、サトシとお姉の交際、ばっちゃは許したんだよ。爪を見事剥いで見せたから、全部忘れるって言って。
嘘だ！嘘だ！手任せを言うな！じゃあ、誰がサトシ君を消したの？誰が？
それだけはわからない。でもね、園崎家じゃない！ばっちゃじゃない！
あんただって、たたりのシステムは知ってるでしょ？別にサトシ君を襲えとわざわざばあさんが指示しなくても、気を利かす誰かが襲う。そういう仕掛けでしょうが
Shion couldn't say anything in response. Even if the hag had forgiven him personally, as long as he was the object of the curse, the executioner would follow him forever.
ばっちゃはね、お社様のたたり、誰が起こしてるのかなって、長いこと調べたんだって。だけど、見つけられなかった。誰もが村の中の誰かって信じてるのに、
存在しない？しないなら、なんで毎年たたりが起きるわけ？
おかしいよね。でも、いないの！いないんだって！
フルでリカが私に、首をかきむしる注射で襲いかかってきたってのは話したよね。それはどう説明するの？急須猫を噛むって状況じゃない。向こうから訪ねてきて、催涙スプレーと注射器で襲いかかってきた。おそらく、同じ注射で富武さんが殺されてるんだと思う。
それは、わからない。リカちゃんがそんなことするなんて、信じられないよ。
実際に見た私でも信じられないよ。あの死に方を見りゃね。
I don't think Shion and the hag are lying. That would mean the hag wasn't in much as control as we thought she was, though. She didn't know anything about that scary drug, or if the Furude family was the one executing the curse. If the Sonozaki family had nothing to do with it, then who made the series of mysterious deaths possible? Was it just a coincidence that something happened 5 years in a row on the night of the Watanagashi? It's impossible. A human must have made it happen, and it was all decided somewhere the Sonozaki family wasn't aware of. The Kimiyoshi family didn't know anything. Kimiyoshi believed the Sonozaki family was behind it. Was it the Furude family? With Rika's behavior and the elderly people who believed in it so blindly, did some kind of power exist around the Furude family that created the curse? No way. The Furude couple themselves were victims of it. How could a little girl like Rika possess a power stronger than that of the Sonozaki family? No way. It's just impossible. In other words, I had killed the heads of all the 3 families and was trying to bring an end to the whole thing, all a result of the misunderstanding about the dark secret of Hinamizawa. Then what about my revenge? Did I kill all the wrong people? People who had nothing to do with Satoshi-kun's disappearance at all?
やるね、シオン。最後の最後で、私の復讐劇をひっくり返そうってわけ。
お姉ちゃん。信じて。私は、仇なんかじゃない。信じてよ。お姉ちゃん。
Shion begged with tears in her eyes. That would have affected me if I was still Shion's sister. But I don't feel anything anymore. Because I'm a demon. There goes your misunderstanding. Yeah, I mean, like, look at this. Look at this. Why did this happen? Why did this entire thing happen? Let's go back. Let's go back up and see. Why did this entire thing happen? I interrogated Granny. I even thought about throttling her. Then she told me. She said it was only telling me as a successor, so I had to keep it a secret! I wonder how this all could have been avoided. I'll be done once I kill Shion. I've already decided that. If I don't finish it up, what would my existence be for? What about the life I devoted to revenge for Satoshi-kun? How dare she tell me all this nonsense to confuse me at the very end? If what she said was the truth, then what I'd done wasn't revenge. It was just the curse of the 5th year.
シオン、あんたが本当に無実なら、あんたは天国へ行けるね。サトシ君に。謝っておいて。
お姉。
A bluish white spark lit up in the darkness, and Shion disappeared into the well.
天国で、サトシ君に謝って。私は、天国には行けないから謝れない。
I still don't. So, okay. I think what I was thinking. I don't know. I think I might have said it as well. That. The thing that was weird to me. Right? Was how Shion died that night, but at the same time came back. Unless Shion came back to came back as Mion to kill Keiichi. The only way that would work is if somehow Shion faked her death. But I always assumed they found a body, but I think the fact that she fell from a height is definitely possible that she faked her death. Instead of going deep into hell. Jumping into this well would be too simple an atonement for it. But it still doesn't make sense. Like, the very ending of Chapter 2, where Mion just appears from the bottom with her, bloody whatever, right? And then kills Keiichi. Or we can assume that she kills Keiichi. But, that doesn't make sense to me. Why is that the case? That's still... Yeah. Jumping into this well would be too simple an atonement for what I've done. So I find a perfect way to end my life. I'm going to live. As best I can. Higurashi, when they cry, kite. Notebook, page 199. How much is there left? I understand it's probably one more segment. How long is that segment, though? Shion Sonozaki's last confession is dubious. Did the hag convince her that the Sonozaki family had nothing to do with it? Or is that the truth? I'm doing my own investigation so far. I've proven there are aspects of the curse which can't be explained by the Sonozaki family alone. So my notes were all bogus from the beginning. These 200 pages are full of bullshit. I thought of burning this notebook, but I won't do it. This notebook proves my guilt. I won't distort the facts. I won't burn it. After all, my life was only a notebook long. I wonder if anybody will read this. If somebody does, please let them learn something from my stupidity. A series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. Dubbed Oyashiro-sama's Curse. If you're reading this, please find the truth. That's my only wish. June 1983. Mion Sonozaki. The thing is, right, because I have to do the last segment, and then I also have to do the after party, right? So I don't want it to take too long. Like, I don't want it to be another 2-hour segment, and then after party, and then it's another 4-hour stream, you know? Like before. If you guys are confident that it's not that much, we can continue. Can look? Sure, yeah. I'm at... how much? 17 hours into the game right now? I think so. Oh, it says I've not read all the tips yet. I read this, right? Yeah. Okay. Somehow I've just not read all the tips yet. View all tips. I read all of them, right? Yeah, finish it? Okay. Unless there's more tips after. There's like 30 minutes left? Okay. Might have to go back and read all the tips to get the achievement if I've not gotten it yet. June 1983. There's been a series of disappearances in Hinamizawa Village, Shishibone City, Prefecture. Suspect is Mion Sonozaki, 9 years old. Allegedly, she abducted, imprisoned, and killed 5 Hinamizawa residents. Oryo Sonozaki, Shion Sonozaki, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi, Rika Furude, and Satoko Hojo between June 19th and the 21st. Preliminary investigation on the incident were delayed at the time due to insufficient evidence. But by chance, the case was solved rather abruptly. On the morning of the 22nd, a vehicle patrolling the Sonozaki property heard screams from inside and rushed in as an emergency measure. They secured the suspect missing younger sister, Shion Sonozaki, and her missing classmates, Keiichi Maibara and Reina Ryugu. The suspect fled the scene. We found hair, pieces of skin, and blood on 4 missing people, Oryo Sonozaki, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi, Rika Furude, and Satoko Hojo, in the torture room that was discovered in the basement of the outbuilding on the Sonozaki family property. Supposedly, that's where they were killed. We concluded that the victims were tortured in that torture room. However, their remains have still not been found. According to one of her imprisoned classmates' advice, the body should be somewhere in the basement of the outbuilding where the torture took place. However, nothing has been uncovered as of yet, including the escape route the suspect took. In addition, investigations continued regarding any possible connection to the series of mysterious deaths in recent years, but no evidence that Mion Sonozaki was involved, either directly or indirectly, has been found. There are still many unclear points to the motive behind the incident, as those of the Sonozaki family, the residents of Hinamizawa have been extremely uncooperative in assisting us. We expect to require a long time to clarify them. The opinion of a local officer knowledgeable about the region is that this may have been a lynching, an eternal form of punishing sacrilegious acts carried out by those against the beliefs of Hinamizawa village. It's clear that the incidents are particularly rooted in this region. The Prefectural Police Department has ordered a cautious investigation. Answers aren't just have staff who's just small afterwards from Ryukishi herself. Oh, so they cut out after parties in general in the Answers arc? We anticipated getting valuable clues from the missing person believed to have been in prison for the longest time, Shion Sonozaki, the suspect's younger sister. However, the incident has left serious mental after effects as she has not been in a state of mind to properly answer any questions about what she knows. Psychiatrists conclude that she's in a temporary state of shock, but as of today she has yet to show any improvement. Yeah, the after party is no more. That's unfortunate. I was acting at first. It was just an act to avoid being interrogated by the police. As it turns out, though, fake insanity can become real. You see, I couldn't bear it any longer. I continued to be haunted by the presence that Ryugu had talked about. It was so close that I could almost touch my back. It wasn't Satoshi-kun, and it wasn't a hallucination. It had become Shion's ghost. Shion didn't go to heaven after all. He was always by my side instead. Shion didn't like the fact that I was alive when she wasn't, but she had decided to haunt me until she witnessed my death. Every night she whispered to me, telling me to die. I get it. I get it! I shouted at the Shion in my back. Through my mouth, she shouted back at me. Must look odd to other people. They think I was arguing with myself. It's not fair. Why are you still living, sis? Die already! You said you'd die right after you killed me. I'm waiting. It's so dark and cold in this well. It's so cold, it hurts. It hurts. I get it. Shut up! What exactly do you think, sis? You won't die in the way you want to? You're just running away, just trying to survive even after you did all those horrible things. You'll never be forgiven. You're cursed. You're destined to die.
やかましいよ、シオン。奴隷のくせに、やかましい。おねえ。クソったれが消え失せやがれ。
Okay, so this is where she dies.
ミオンはずるい。ミオンだけずるい。姉妹はいつも一緒。死んでも一緒。だからミオンほら、迎えに来たんだよ。ミオン
Bang. Shion banged on the door. Bam. That noise is too loud. It's cracking my ears and my head open. Shion's trying to break in. Ah, shit! Alright, Shion, I get it. The perfect way for me to die is to be cursed by you, isn't it? But I won't be going so easily. I won't simply disappear. It wouldn't be fair if your beloved was left alive after all. I went out to the balcony to avoid Shion, who's on the other side of the door. If I jump over to the railing to the neighboring apartment, I could reach the fire escape. Eat shit, Shion! I lean over the railing and jump to the balcony next door. Then I rush down the stairs, noiseless as a cat. Shion was too stupid to realize that I escaped. It wouldn't take too long to get to Keiichi's house on a motorcycle. Shion must believe I'm still in that ruin. She's so stupid! Wait, but I don't get it. Soon enough I can see the Maebara mansion. I'd never seen it before, but I had a great deal of it from Shion. She told me that Keiichi's room is on the second floor. I should wake him up, throw a stone. I threw a couple of stones at the window, and shortly thereafter the light turned on and the window opened. I saw Keiichi there. The moment I saw him, my madness cooled off for a while. Even from here I could tell Keiichi was running down the stairs. He showed up quickly, with a doll in his hand. I felt depressed to see it. It was the doll he failed to give Shion. It isn't fair after all, Shion. I'm so jealous, Kei-chan. Why do you do that with your mouse? I'm shaking my leg, and... okay. I'm shaking my left leg, right? Which is connected to my left arm, and my left arm is grabbing my right arm, and my right arm is holding my mouse. So it's like a pulley system that's kind of like pulling everything. Yeah. I want to receive a doll from Satoshi-kun too.
Mio!
お久しぶり。どう？元気にしてた？
Despite the burning insanity within me, I spoke to him calmly. It's true, my body's controlled by the demon now. Otherwise I wouldn't be here this late.
お前、こんなところをうろついてて大丈夫なのか？
本当はいけないよ。
それより、どうしたんだよ。
I thought you were just fidgeting with your hand. No, okay. Let me paint a picture. We're gonna do this paint thing again. This is my chair, right? Frontal view. Boom, chair. Right? You got boom, 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 boom. Right? Boom, chair. Right? This is me sitting here. Hi, that's me. It's like that. And then this leg is crossed over like that. Okay? My arm is sitting on my leg like that. And then it's grabbing over to my hand that's over here. That's holding my mouse over here. Like that. That's how I'm sitting right now. Beautiful, I know. You can tell so much what's happening there.
こんな時間に。
最後にお話ししたかったから。
I feel horribly sleepy. Maybe it's more like fainting due to loss of blood. The sensations prove that the insanity is swallowing me.
私ね。もうここにはいられない。
大丈夫か？どこか具合でも。
今日まで、頑張ってきたけど、自分でわかるの、もうダメ。もう限界。私のお迎えは、もう、すぐ後ろまで来てる。
I won't get to decide how I die. Shion won't allow me to. No wonder. I dropped her down the well. It wasn't only her. None of the people I killed chose to die how they did. Considering that, debating how I'll die must seem like a luxurious concern to the dead.
大丈夫かよ。もう無理するな。あ、そうだ。俺、ミオに。
I'll kill him, I'll kill him, I'll kill him! I'll avenge Satoshi-kun's death. I'll avenge his death. This guy is Shion's beloved. I hate her! I'll kill him and teach her a lesson. Eat this While gravity's pull spun around me, I realized I had stabbed him with a knife. I made it! I made it before Shion killed me! I got back at her! Keiichi rolled on the ground, clutching his stomach.
できた！全部できた！私が殺したやつは、これで全員！
Yeah, I did it! I did it! I avenged your death, Satoshi-kun! Don't you love me for it? Will you stroke my head? I can fix her. Yeah. Yes. This was all a bad dream. After all, I was just in my room like always, suffering from nightmares of Shion. But where was I now? I'd been stranded on my apartment's fire escape. Alone. Huh? I can still recall that dream. Yes, I'd stepped out onto the veranda. My front door was still locked, so I had to climb through the veranda again. Whoa! My foot had slipped, and then I felt a floating sensation. After that, a sharp, indescribable pain ran through my head. My incredible pain finally cleared the fog away from my nightmare. I just slipped from the fire escape as I tried to return to my balcony, and fell onto the roof jutting out from the elevator hall 2 or 3 floors down. My room was on the 8th floor. I wasn't expecting to be caught up here. When I fell, my head landed right on the concrete corner. I could feel both enormous pain and the warm blood dripping out. I felt strangely calm. Couldn't sense the demon, Shion's ghost, or my grudge. I felt just like a baby, and nothingness brought me peace. All my memories from when I was born and named Mion, up until today, came to my mind. Recalled memories of the time I'd spent with Satoshi-kun. Tears rolled down my cheeks. Where did I go wrong? When in my life did I make the wrong choice? I do know just when and where that was because Satoshi-kun reminded me. I'll leave Satoko to you. Sure. I believe your return. I'll be waiting for you. I'll take care of Satoko. I'll wait for you with her. We'll be good girls. You left your precious sister to me, and nobody else. I guess I didn't get the significance of what you said. But I'll be fine this time. I love you, Satoshi-kun. Satoko. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. Shion, I'm really sorry. Could I repay everything with my death? No way, right? That's not how it should be done. I wanted Satoshi-kun to stroke my head one more time. I wanted to hear him mumble one more time. I knew it was too much to ask, and so I had no other regrets. That brought an end to my apologies. I rolled over, sending myself falling to the ground. Head first. I hoped my head would crack open, to take me to the hell I deserved. I was just a demon. I belonged in hell. Why was I born? Why did this world give birth to me? I shouldn't have been born. I wouldn't have had to suffer if I hadn't been. What was the meaning of my meaningless life? If I wasn't born, nobody would have to suffer. Thank you for treating me kindly, even though I was like this. Thank you for teaching me love, even though I was like this. Even though I was like this. Even though. I'm really sorry, everybody. I really am. I'm sorry. If Satoshi could give me another chance, I would make the same mistake again. Never. Again. Ah, here comes the ground. Bye. I love you. Hmm? Hmm? I wish...
今日までの出来事がすべて夢だったらいいのになって何度も思った。だから書いてみた。書いて夢になると信じて。ほら、よく漫画の中にあるじゃない？私の目の前に食べきれないほどのお菓子が積み上げてあって、それに手を伸ばし、まさに食らいつこうというところで、無粋に起こされて目を覚ますの。それは、とてつもなく長い夢で、私は1年以上も眠っていたことになる。そう。私は、監督の野球チームの試合の後、有頂天に駆け出して、赤信号の横断歩道に踊り出して、バイクにはねられてしまった。それで、ずっと1年以上も意識が戻らなくて、ようやく目が覚めるの。まぶたを開けたとき、そこには病院の天井が飛び込んでくる。それから、ずっと看病しててくれたサトシくんが覗き込んでくれて、さすがにこれはできすぎか。でも、いいよね。そういうことにしても、いいよね。生まれてきて、ごめんなさい。
Yeah, but Surplus was saying that you and him were further along, like, in this than, you know, where I'm at right now. So meaning, like, there is more that I should be understanding, but I guess I'm missing. Right? So, like, I just don't understand where, like, how it could... Like, I just don't understand where you can make connections. Because until you know this timeline thing, right, I don't think you can ask any question. Because the questions that you ask, I don't think really matter.
今日はレナのお弁当はミートボールなんだよ。
What do you disagree about?
そりゃいいね。おじさんもぜひいただくよ。ほらリカちゃん、机。
くっつけるのですよ。ペター。残念なことにミートボールは私も大好物でございましたよ。皆さんに一口でも口に入るとは思わないことでしたよ。
残念。そうはいかないで
This
す。
is the first time we've seen her in this outfit?
明らかに野菜不足のさとこには特別にかぼちゃ弁当を用意させてもらいました。
うわ、そりゃいじめだぞシオン。
ふわー、かぼちゃは嫌ですの。
ほら、そのかぼちゃ嫌いはダメです。かぼちゃはですね、育ち盛りのさとこは特に栄養に気を使わないといけないんですよ。私の目の黒いうちは変色は認めないので、その覚悟でお願いします。ほら、みんなもどうぞ。ほこほこのかぼちゃって。
もにゅもにゅ。
What is that eating sound?
さとこ、これなら甘くて美味しいのですよ。
お、確かにこりゃいけるな。かぼちゃの甘みが嫌味なく、それでいて絶妙で。さとこ、お前は食うな。もったいない。
なんですって？かぼちゃは嫌いですけど、言い方が気に入りません。
そら、言った。
I clipped that sound and spammed it to Surplus whenever I saw this. Wait, this one?
もにゅもにゅ。
That
一口
one?
にガバッと言ってみなよ。
Yeah,
ほら
okay.
ね。美味しいでしょ？まあ、食べれなくもないですわね。
当たり前です。さとこがかぼちゃ嫌いを克服できるように日夜研究してますので。さて、この調子で今年中にナス、ピーマン、アスパラガスと制覇していきましょう。
冗談はごめんですわ。私が沖宮の学校に転校しましたよ。
ダメです。サトシくんから頼まれている以上、健康管理は私の担当です。不摂生も許しませんから、そのつもりで。
シオンさん嫌い。かぼちゃ嫌。
A world that could have been. Higurashi when they cry kite. I think that's what if yeah. The scenario jump mode has been unlocked. Okay. The tips reading room has been unlocked. Can I read the tips you... Yeah, okay, so I have not read all tips then. What is that? Why is that the sound that they made? Oh, there we go. Okay, more tips. A happy diary and disowned. Reached an epiphany at the end of it all. Achievement unlocked. Okay. Let's go to the staff room first. Do you think that murder can be justified depending on the motive? Hi, this is Yukishi07. Thank you for playing Higurashi When They Cry Kai. Chapter 5, Meakashi. Although I depict many deaths in my work, I often ask myself a question. The question is there such a thing as justifiable murder? In our word, murder is prosecuted, and the degree of punishment varies depending on the motive and circumstances. Varying different degrees of punishment mean that we are putting value on the dead person's life. Some scenes justify murder in Higurashi. By degrading the life of the victim in those scenes, the player can sympathize with the character more easily. The degree of sympathy would be different from person to person. The person who could sympathize probably felt catharsis, and the people who disagreed with that character might have felt uncomfortable. That's indicated by how opinions were polarized regarding Keiichi's actions in Tatarigoroshi. In Meakashi, there are also a number of murders. This time the main character Shion tries to earn sympathy for each one of them. How did you feel? How much were you able to sympathize with her? If you couldn't sympathize with her at all, then please berate her as a crazy murderer. If you sympathize with her at all, then please have mercy on her. If you sympathize with her almost entirely, then please have mercy on her. If you completely sympathize with her, then please let us berate both of you as crazy murderers. What about me? Well, that's a secret. I'd like to reverse my question this time. What kind of murderer could you sympathize with if you were to be killed? A murderer who doesn't care about people's lives? That'd be quite a regrettable death. Extremely sad to be killed in denial of all your values. A murderer who begs for forgiveness in tears. That'd be quite regrettable too. They shouldn't kill you at all if they're begging for your forgiveness. So what kind of murderer could you sympathize with? In the end, sympathy might just be a method for making the story more interesting. If you can sympathize, it's fun. If you can't sympathize, they're just crazy. We cannot put value on human life. It's a sin to even try doing so. Murder is a murder. Nothing more than that. I just hope everyone can live happily together. How does that sound? Would you agree to that? You wouldn't. Thank you very much for playing Higurashi When They Cry Kai, Chapter 5, Meakashi. I can only bring out this 5th episode thanks to all your support. Higurashi will only get more intense as it approaches the finale. Nothing will make me happier if you continue to read the chapters to come. The next chapter will be titled Sumihoroboshi. Really, I'm rather fortunate if you've enjoyed yourself even a little. Thank you again for playing. I hope this has brought a little color to your life. 07th expansion, Yukishi07. Yeah, I want to hear why you disagree with me, Diana, with what I was saying before. I can't even remember what you were disagreeing to be honest, so you might have to say that as well. View tips. Okay.
ええ。葛西氏が踏み込んだ時には、室内は無人でベランダへの窓が開きっぱなし。その時が飛び降り時刻です。それで、その真下の5階エレベーターフロアの屋根に一度落ちて脳震盪。そのしばらく後に横に転がって再落下。葛西氏が飛び降りを疑って地上を調べた時に遺体が見つからなかったのは、この時点ではエレベーターフロアの屋根の上で混沌中だったからです。前原圭一が刺されたのはほぼ同じ頃。その頃には園崎慎吾はすでに飛び降りていて、屋根の上で脳震盪中？
違いますね。ベランダから抜け出して前原圭一を刺して、ベランダへまた戻るときに誤って落下じゃないかな。悪いけど周辺の部屋のベランダとかも調べ直してください。
おいさん、3番にお電話です。
はいはい、どちら様から？
佐藤と伝えればわかるとか、合言葉は論と言えと。
No, so Sato is still alive. So who is Sato then? I thought Sato would be Satoko's father. Who is Sato then?
もしもし。ああ、佐藤さんですか。こっちへ電話ということはいい知らせでしょうね。
Yeah, okay. I remember that. I was like, that sounds familiar. Yes, it was in Mahjong. An informant got in contact with me and you were right after all.
ありがとうございます。今度フラワーロードで一杯おごりますよ。
なんです今の電話。麻雀の誘いですか？
ビンゴ。園崎姉妹は逆なんです。
What? The Sonozaki sisters would... Okay.
ミオンがシオンで、シオンがミオン。入れ墨入れるときに間違って逆にやっちゃって、 取り返しがつかなくなったらしい。だからこのノートのミオンとシオンは逆に読むんです。それでならサトシ君とシオンさん、いやミオンさん、ややこしいなの関係が理解できる。
ノートって先日の大石さん宛てと書かれて郵便ポストに投函されてたっていう買いノートのことですか？中身はめちゃくちゃで捜査撹乱の恐れありって言い
Who
ません
sent
でし
in
た
the
っけ？
notebook then?
もちろん名前の入れ替えが分かったところで撹乱の域を出ませんがね。このノートどこまで信じていいのやら。もし本当ならフルデリカの死のあたりが怪しすぎるからな。
異常者の日記ですよ。読んでるとこっちまで変になりそうです。最後のページの生まれてきてごめんなさいなんて、読んでるとこっちまで飛び降りたくなりますよ。
でも幸せな日記じゃないですか。
幸せですか？
この日記だけでサトシ君って名前何回くらい出てくると思います？シオンさんは本当にサトシ君のことが好きだったんだなって、その好きというのがね、若さゆえの勘違いでずれちゃって。
I'm surprised Oishi can look at her that sympathetically. How much could he sympathize? Can murder be justifiable? In Keiichi's case, when he murdered... murder is... I mean, even in the real world, murder is justifiable. You've heard of people who have, you know, like, there's the cases of, like, the old one I think about of, like, the mother who goes and kills her daughter's killer, and the jury acquits her of all charges, and she walks freely, you know? I think definitely, depending on the situation, murder is justifiable. But usually, the most cases where murder is justifiable is when you have no other option, and people tend to agree with you. Even in Keiichi's case, I don't know if people would find, from our side, yeah, we agree with it, but I don't know if many people would agree that Keiichi was correct to commit murder. Like, people would people looking in would probably say, like, oh, you should have, there are different orders to this. There are different degrees. You should have gone to, like, if you didn't, you know, if the child services didn't accept help. Sorry, if the child services didn't want to take Satoko from then like in your jurisdiction, maybe you should have gone to a different jurisdiction. Maybe you should have contacted the police. Maybe you should have set up like operations. I think there's a lot of things you could have been. I think there are things that people would be doing. I think, in my opinion, I would not say Shion's murders are justifiable. She is just completely... She has been from the beginning, and judging from her inner thoughts, it was always... She committed murder for selfish reasons. And she even herself acknowledged that. There were definitely ways around it. And she chose not to look for any of those ways, and instead chose a way that was easy for her to do. And not even trying to sort out anything else. She had a vendetta, and she would not rest until that vendetta was resolved. And only after was it resolved did she come to the conclusion that maybe there was another way. And even after it was resolved, she still went
教え
back.
てよ母さん。鬼ババとどういう喧嘩をしたわけ？
Why does Shion look like this?
感動されるなんてよっぽどだったわけでしょ？
お前もくだらないことに興味が尽きないね。
I see, okay.
ま、そろそろ話してもわからない年じゃないか。実はね、父さんと結婚したいって言ったらね、
That's their
ダ
hot
メだ
mom.
っ
I
て言わ
see,
れ
I
ちゃったの
see.
よ。
何それ？
She honestly
私も当時はだいぶ知
does
らない
not
生き
look
方
much
してて呆
older
れら
than
れてた
Shion or
の。
Mion. I can't lie.
その挙句、連れてきた男が人気者だったわけでしょ？そりゃ大喧嘩よ。いい名付けは当主が決める。 なんて言われて。
The only difference is that she's wearing lipstick
このクソババア
and she has
この場で切り伏せたら
earrings.
って大立ち
Try
ない
the
よ
other sprites, maybe it's different. She looks even younger here. Yeah, she looks older here.
互いに板の間の日本刀抜いてちゃんちゃんバラバラ。
ひえ、鬼ババと盾を演じたわけ？母さんやるね。
まあね、母さんこう見えても若い頃は武闘派だし、互いに剣道有段だからそりゃあド派手だったわよ。周りはおろおろ。面白かった。
なるほどね。その騒ぎのせいで感動されたわけ？
そうよ、感動上等。遠慮なく感動もらって父さんと籍を入れたわよ。ま、けじめってことで爪を剥がされたけど
classic,
ね。
okay, of course.
ほら、左手の爪だけいびつでしょ。
うわあ。それで鬼ババと母さんはずっと仲が悪いわけだね。
Why is Kasai just standing there, aura
本
farming?
当はね、そんなことないの。私と鬼ババ様はちゃんと仲がいいんだよ。
嘘だー。
鬼ババ様には面倒な世間体があるからね。一度でも感動した以上、甘くすると示しがつかないし。だから私も親類会議とかではおとなしく引っ込んでるけど、たまに遊びに行ってのんびりお茶とか飲んでるよ。
嘘だー。
実はね、内緒よ。鬼ババ様もね、その昔けじめで爪を剥いだことあるんだってよ。
So this is saying that if Shion tried to have a relationship with the grandmother, she could have made it work, but she didn't. Yeah, like, she's just completely in the wrong. Like, there's no justifying what she did. She is just, like, in my opinion, she's just completely in the wrong. There's nothing that, like, there's nothing that justifies what she did.
今度会ったら左手の爪をよく見てごらん。
ひえ。鬼ババは何をやったわけ？
そうね。母さんは知らない。
あ、その顔は知ってるな。教えてよ。
Yeah, I guess so, Ruben. I guess so. Okay. Well, that was something. It is a fucked up family, but honestly, if they all decided to get along, it's better than Satoko's family. Genuinely, if they actually put in information, like actually tried, and it wasn't just a family built on misunderstandings, they actually could have gotten along, and they could have had a genuinely like happy relationship. If like this family status thing and like, oh, like we're part of the Yakuza, we'll rough you up, the kidnapping, like if all this stuff like wasn't like, it's just so necessary for them to keep up like reputation in quotations, like if they even need to, they wouldn't have any problems, or basically none. Why do you have to do this at the very end? You couldn't have had it any other time. Yeah, it really is. What do you call a cat on the moon? A catstronaut. Okay. What next? Surplus has been asking me to do this Spider-Man movie watch thing. So I'll see if I can. But the thing is, I don't have Disney Plus, so I don't know if I'll be able to do that. If not, then I guess I'll have to pirate it. But I don't know. To be honest, I don't even know if I'll be allowed to like do this on Twitch. You know, I don't know if my like. Obviously, I'm just like some random small streamer, right? And I'll probably like in stream. Yeah, I think it'd be fun on stream. Right? I probably won't be able to save the VOD or anything, but I think it'll be fun. Like, we all just sit in a Discord call and just chill. I get roasted about the movie and all that. Like, while watching. Like, we'll probably all be in the Discord. As long as it's not too chaotic, we'll probably just all sit in the Discord call and watch. Like, all in VC and stream. Yeah, why not? Unless we don't want that, but yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. If we don't end up doing that tomorrow, we'll probably just continue with chapter 6. But yeah. That'll be it from me then for today. Thank you for everyone who stopped by the stream. I appreciate it. And I'll be back with something else tomorrow. Yeah. Goodbye, everyone.